Welcome to Founders in Flow, the podcast where two seasoned entrepreneurs, Neil and Ijlal, dive into real conversations about what it takes to build, grow, and scale an online business. Let's get into the flow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Founders in Flow. I'm your host, Neil Napier, and today we have a very exciting topic lined up for you. We're diving deep into the world of search optimization, but with a twist. Is SEO dead? And what exactly is AEO? To help us navigate through these waters, I've got Ijlal Ahmed here with me. Welcome back, Ijlal.
Thanks, Neil. It's great to be back. I love talking about this because it's such a pivotal shift in how we are approaching search. I think this change from SEO to AEO really marks a new era in digital marketing. And for all of our solopreneurs listening, this is definitely something you should be paying attention to.
Absolutely, Ijlal. To give our listeners some background, in our last episode, we touched on leveraging AI for solopreneurs. This time, we're extending that conversation into the realm of search. So first things first, can you explain what AEO is and how it's different from the traditional SEO strategies we're familiar with?
Sure, Neil. AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization. It's an evolution beyond SEO, focusing more on optimizing content to provide direct answers to users' queries. This shift is largely driven by AI and changes in how search engines work, especially with the rise of voice search. With SEO, the goal was generally to appear higher in search results by focusing on keywords. AEO, however, is about being the most relevant answer when someone asks a question. It's less about keywords and more about context and content richness.
That makes a lot of sense. The way people search is definitely more conversational now, especially with the increasing use of devices like Alexa and Siri. So how does AI come into play here?
Great question. AI is the backbone of this transition. Search engines like Google are increasingly relying on AI to understand the nuances of human language. This means they're not just looking at the words we type or speak, but the intent behind those words. AI helps in contextual understanding, which is crucial for AEO. For solopreneurs, using AI tools can help in identifying what questions their target audience is asking and how they can craft content that best answers those questions. It's about anticipating needs and providing solutions.
That's fascinating. So essentially, it's about being more intuitive with content creation. How have you seen this play out in real-world scenarios, especially for businesses that transition to AEO?
I've seen it transform businesses, Neil. For instance, take a small local skincare company I worked with. They shifted from creating typical top 10 skincare tips to crafting detailed articles that answer specific concerns, like how does ingredient X affect acne-prone skin? By addressing those direct queries, their online visibility increased significantly, and they started ranking for very specialized terms in voice searches. This not only boosted their traffic, but also attracted a more engaged audience who were on the verge of making purchasing decisions.
It sounds like focusing on AEO not only changes how content is created, but can also directly impact the type of traffic a website attracts. I imagine this aligns perfectly with the solopreneur model, where efficiency and targeting are key. What advice would you give solopreneurs looking to make this shift?
For solopreneurs, I'd say start by understanding your audience's pain points better than they understand them themselves. Use AI tools to analyze search trends and queries relevant to your niche. Once you have that data, focus on creating value-driven content that answers these queries in depth. Remember, AEO isn't about churning out endless posts. It's about quality over quantity. And also, don't be afraid to use AI to help streamline your content creation process. Tools that offer content suggestions, tone adjustments, and SEO tweaks can be invaluable.
That's some solid advice there. Having seen so many businesses adapt to digital trends, what would you say are the core challenges that solopreneurs might face when transitioning from SEO to AEO? And how can they overcome these?
The biggest challenge is mindset. Many entrepreneurs have been conditioned to focus on keywords and search engine rankings. Shifting this focus to user intent and satisfaction can be daunting. Additionally, crafting content for AEO often requires more research and depth, which can be time-consuming. Solopreneurs can overcome this by embracing change and staying updated with search engine updates and AI advancements. A practical step is setting aside regular time for audience engagement, which provides insights into their needs directly. Joining communities and forums related to AEO can offer support and fresh ideas.
It all comes back to continuous growth and adaptation, doesn't it? I feel like that's a common theme in our discussions. Staying informed and being willing to iterate is crucial. Now, looking ahead, do you think AEO will entirely replace SEO, or will there always be a place for traditional SEO techniques? Quick break from today's episode, but this is really exciting. If you've been enjoying this podcast so far, here's a little secret. We didn't write or speak a single word of it ourselves. Every episode of Founders in Flow is created using a tool we're building called PodGorilla, and it's about to change the way podcasts are made. PodGorilla lets you generate an entire podcast episode from the topic to the script to the voiceover using nothing but AI. You can pull inspiration from YouTube videos, PDFs, or even just drop in your own ideas. Then it gives you a complete, ready-to-publish audio episode. All you need to do is hit generate and let the tool do the work. And right now, we're opening up early access. If you want to be one of the first people to try PodGorilla before anyone else and see how we're using it behind the scenes, just head over to podgorilla.co and join the waitlist. That's podgorilla.co. The future of podcasting is just one click away. Now back to the episode.
That's a question I've been pondering myself, Neil. I believe while AEO will dominate in many areas, especially with the rise of voice and conversational search, traditional SEO won't completely disappear. There will always be a need for optimizing technical elements of websites. Fast loading times, mobile optimization, and proper tagging will continue to be important. What might happen is a more integrated approach where AEO and SEO strategies complement each other. It's about being versatile and adaptable with your digital strategy.
I agree with you there. So it's not so much a binary choice, but rather a question of how to blend these strategies most effectively to meet user needs. Well, Ijlal, this has been incredibly insightful. As we begin to wrap up, is there any last piece of advice or a key takeaway you'd want to leave our listeners with?
I'd say always put the user first. Whether you're creating content, designing a product, or planning your next marketing move, think about how it serves your audience. Optimization, be it SEO or AEO, is about enhancing the user experience. Stay curious, keep learning, and don't hesitate to experiment with new strategies and technologies like AI. Those who adapt quickly will always have the upper hand.
Wise words, Ijlal. Thank you so much for your time today and for sharing your expertise. I'm sure our listeners have a lot to mull over and act upon. We'll definitely have you back soon to explore more facets of the digital landscape. Until next time, everyone, keep pushing those boundaries and stay in the flow. See you later.